Hi, I am Tracy Habig, and I'm here with Thrivister, and I'm here with Karina Sandoval. She is with Fusion Academy in San Antonio, and we have a great relationship with Fusion Academy. We refer students to Fusion that are looking for a unique school model where that traditional school setting is just not meeting their needs. And we found that we're a great fit for Fusion students who are transitioning out of high school, moving into the college setting, and they're just needing some extra support with their executive functioning skills as they're making that transition, that tricky transition to college. So I'm excited to learn more about Fusion and hear more from Karina, and let's get into it. So I would love to hear a little bit just about how Fusion got started. How did it come to be?
So Fusion originated in 1989 by the founder. Her name is Michelle Rose Gilman in Solana Beach, California, where she was originally, teaching a group of students, and a grant was lost. And instead of kind of leaving the students out, in the middle of nowhere, basically with their academics, she decided to take them on and do some individualized teaching with each one of them. And that's kind of where the idea of Fusion originated. And then it kind of went from there and grew.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what makes Fusion so different from a traditional school.
What doesn't make it different?
This is true.
I know it's an amazing program. Basically, we work with kiddos 6th through 12th grade that really need a more individualized, personal setting to be successful. So the way it works, it's kind of, I tell people all the time, it's hard to picture it until you come and walk one of our campuses and actually see it firsthand. But overall, it's a one-on-one setting, one teacher to one student ratio. And that's what allows the students to really flourish, because they're able to be taught in that environment where it's just them and the teacher, right? So based off of the way the student learns, the teacher can work based off of that. So if one student is more of a visual learner, audio learner, they need more time, on a specific subject. The teacher doesn't necessarily have a criteria to meet to where she needs to be moving on. He or she needs to be moving on immediately within a chapter or a time frame to get to the next one. Each student we can take our time to get the student mastered, that level of whatever they're needing to master. We have the time and ability to do that, which is really, really nice. But again, we just customize, the education to that specific student, as well as their scheduling. So there are kiddos that maybe don't do well in the morning, bright and early in the morning. So maybe they're going to be starting school later in the morning time, or some kiddos that do really well in the morning, but by mid-afternoon, they've checked out. So they need to be, probably off campus by 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, potentially. So we can customize their schedule. We can customize, again, their education. The ability to teach these students in this environment also nourishes their emotional health, their social skills, because we're not pushing any forms of time frames and constraints on them. So they tend to be a lot more successful in that kind of environment.
That's so incredible. In that one-to-one environment, how do you feel like that specifically helps students with ADHD or weak executive functioning skills?
Right. So ADHD, the biggest thing with that is the fact that, it is the inability to function, at a certain level. So we have to slow it down, maybe potentially. And the teacher has the ability to do that, right? Is to not only slow it down, but also, is the student not learning it in the way, that teacher's teaching it? And if so, that teacher can go, let's take 2 steps back and figure out what approach we need to take to teach them to where they will learn and master that skill, which is really nice because we have that time and ability to do that, like I was saying previously, where in a traditional setting, we don't have that individualized time to slow it down for one specific student in a group of 30 students, 20 students, even 5. We can't do that. In this setting, we can do that. We don't have to move on to a certain other subject or level of reading or math or whatever until we master that, and we teach it in a format that they can understand it. So
yeah, what a gift for students that struggle with paying attention in the classroom. I mean, just to be able to engage with them in that one-on-one environment, that's incredible. Tell me a little bit about your personal background before you came to Fusion Academy.
yeah, I mean, I've been a college counselor for over 15 years. So that was my educational background is in college admissions. And I enjoyed that thoroughly. But in doing so, I met a lot of different types of students, and their learning styles, and kind of saw what the academics was outside of the colleges, and realized that a lot of these kiddos graduated but didn't master everything that they needed to master, and with that. So that really led my heart to kind of go, what's out there that I can do to make a change. So that's kind of where my heart led me to Fusion.
Oh, great. We were talking about how beneficial this one-on-one model is for students with ADHD. Do you have an example of maybe how something would be handled in a traditional school setting versus how that same thing would be handled in a one-on-one setting at Fusion?
I'm thinking of one student specifically right now that just did a lot better once they got to Fusion, was having emotional anxiety issues due to maybe the amount of people that he was coming in contact with, the environment being very loud, very fast, where again at Fusion, the campus holds no more than 100 students, and never all at the same time because of the scheduling. There's not a lot of again, time constraints or pushing of requirements. Again, we have the ability and time to slow it down for them, so the anxiety isn't built up. And then again, like I said, the teaching in the format that they learn. So the boy that I'm thinking of right now learns a lot better watching videos and is a very visual learner. So the teacher was able to focus on putting the curriculum together for that student with a lot of different types of videos that provided the information to master the subject. So we can't do that in a traditional setting. We cannot customize the education to one specific student because they learn in a specific format. Every kiddo learns differently. And we're able to literally individualize it to each one.
That's incredible. Well, we know that ADHD rates are on the rise. We know that they're actually up 26.4%, which is crazy. And something that we've noticed at Thrivister is that we've seen a real spike in mental health crises with our students. We've actually seen 120% increase since last year, which is pretty insane. Do you feel like at Fusion you're seeing those same types of trends with mental health crises? And I would love to know kind of what your take is on that, or Fusion's take is on that.
When parents are first coming to us, I would say almost the majority of the students or parents that are coming to us is because their kiddos are struggling with anxiety, depression, mental health issues. So I would say that's almost the majority of parents reaching out to us. And they've done anything and everything that they possibly can to help these kiddos in their public school systems or traditional settings. And it just wasn't successful. So with Fusion, because of the fact that it is that one-on-one model, we have the ability to have a strong relationship in the classroom with the student, knowing their personal background. So if there's a day where the kiddo is struggling, we're not going to sit there and try and push, the academics. We know that at that point in time, we maybe have to take a step backwards and say, okay, the student needs some time. Today's just not working out. So what can we do to kind of switch it around to get back on a positive note, whether it be allow them to maybe, write down, maybe some feelings or how they're doing, and just kind of get them to feel a little bit better. And again, just helping them. What we call it is love in the classroom, is one of the biggest things. We have that personal relationship with them so that we don't have to, again, push the academics every single day that, if we're having a bad day, we have the ability to work with those students, which is nice.
That is really nice.
There's a lot of acceptance. Fusion is huge on acceptance, tolerance, compassion, connection. Just, so different from what I've seen in a traditional setting.
Almost completely opposite. I know one thing that we really value at Thrivister is the relationship that we have with the students. And because we're working one-on-one with them when we're doing coaching with them, it's nice to be able to see, I can see you're having a really tough day, and we're just not even going to be able to get to the academics until we're able to address the emotional regulation or the dysregulation that's going on right now. And it's so nice to have the luxury of being able to do that. What do you think is the number one problem that Fusion is solving for students?
For me personally, the students' mental health. Absolutely. The struggle is real. It's serious. We just had a luncheon just the other day where a dad, fully admitted that maybe he was a little bit in denial, and then also was very, did not know about all the resources available to his daughter. And once he found Fusion, and once she was in our classrooms, things got so much better almost overnight because of her, and because of, coming to Fusion and changing that environment for her. So just the mental health is a huge thing that our kids are struggling with right now. And I think placing them in the best, healthiest environment to learn in is truly a gift that you can't begin to understand is how beneficial it will be to your student.
Yeah, agreed. And when you are you the one that's on the front lines with the parents when they're initially calling, kind of seeking more information about different schooling options?
My focus is mainly with mental health professionals and educators. So that's my role, is to really be on in talking with them about Fusion so that they can let parents know, about Fusion. So my majority role is, now I will say I do meet with the parents from Fusion on occasion, whether they're referring someone else, to Fusion or whatnot. But the majority of the time, I'm really out in the community talking to mental health professionals, which is why, I'm so knowledgeable in understanding that anxiety and depression and the mental health issues that these kids are struggling with are serious. They're real. They're growing very quickly, and we need to get these kids in a better environment. If that, whatever that means, it could be. I've seen it be life or death kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the fact that Fusion definitely nurtures the students' gifts that they do bring to the table. So, and I love that too, because again, that allows them to learn a lot better, is when they get to use their personal gifts to learn. So, for example, one of my department heads, Mr. Cooper, he teaches English, and you would never think that you'd be doing artwork in English, but definitely he's had several students who were strong in the arts, and so instead of making them sit and write 3-page paper, or whatever it may be, he had them do artwork to express how they mastered the book that they read or whatnot. So just different things like that just really nourishes the student's soul is really, really nice too.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much, Karina. It was such a pleasure chatting with you today and learning more about Fusion.
Thank you so much for having me.